All right, so hey, I'm Jose Hernandez here at CSM Fitness, and I wanted to talk a little bit today about basically just story time about some events that have happened to us here at CSM in the last month or so. And I don't know if you guys know, but transportation in America is a tough thing to do. So I feel for some of these shipping companies, but at the same time, a lot of these shipping companies have their issues. So I'll start by saying that. So we have last month in December lost a pallet, an entire pallet. It's about a $5,000 machine. Went missing, never recovered. I basically had to refund. I didn't have to refund. I had to replace that unit for the customer. Obviously, it's not the customer's fault. The pallet was lost. I had to pay for the shipping, and I had to pay for the shipping back. And there's no real recourse there. When it comes down to shipping used equipment, there's no real recourse. So that's one thing I've learned that is very, very devastating to our business as a small business. And the only reason I found out was because right at the end of December, we had another shipment that the shipment was actually damaged. And, the broker shipped it back to us. And, we had to ship the customer a new item, obviously, because it was wrecked. And we paid for the shipping, not back, but we had to pay for the ship. We didn't get refunded for our shipping, even though they destroyed the machine. And then I had to pay another $700 to get another unit out there to the customer. So I lost the unit. I lost $700 in shipping, because the customer paid for the shipping the first time. You guys are the ones that when I'm shipping LTL, you guys usually pay for the shipping. Sometimes we eat some of it, different story. But this time around, again, same thing happened. Now, the tip of the iceberg was about a week ago, we had a unit that was $5,000. So this is an expensive Life Fitness Arc trainer. And, customers really nice. And God bless that we have customers that will, buy stuff from us. And when something like this happens, they don't lose their minds on us and think that it's on us. But it's still a bad look, when the unit shows up to a customer's house and it's absolutely wrecked, So again, customer gets the unit, it's wrecked. They turn it around. I get it back. It's in shambles. I'll flash some pictures of what it was here. And again, I had to get the customer another unit and ship him another one. And I called the broker and I'm like, hey, so what's the recourse here? What is it as a small business? What is it that I can do to recover any of these losses? And he basically told me, you're SOL, bud. Provide us an invoice of where you bought it, and you get refunded pennies on a dollar for the unit, and you still lose the shipping, because what they do is something called free astray. Even though there's an insurance on this whole thing, they're paying for that wrecked unit to come back, and for them they look at it as if they're being responsible and they're shipping you back the item, which is absolute BS, because I don't even want to ship the damn thing back half the time, because they're usually so wrecked that you can't even fix them. They got bent frames. Usually they drop the pallets and stuff like that. So, it just made me come to realize that it's a tough business out there to be in, at least for us, when it comes down to used equipment and selling used equipment, where it's not looked at as anything valuable. I don't know if you guys know, but basically when we buy used equipment, and anybody out there buying used equipment pretty much, I think, will be in the same on the same boat as we are. You buy it in lots. You're not buying one unit from a manufacturer where you get an invoice for and you pay for it, and then you possibly get reimbursed for that like you would with a brand new piece. But with used pieces, they basically just, I buy a lot, so where am I going to get an invoice from? And a lot of this stuff's on POs. It's just not foreseeable for me to hand these people an invoice. So yeah, so it was very eye-opening for me. Even after doing this for 24 years, to see that we literally hold the bag all the way until the customer receives it, you know. And these shipping companies have not gotten any better. If anything, they're getting worse. I had a you know, a situation recently too where the shipping company dropped off a bike in front of the customer's garage door. Customer never even signed for it. Customer was out of town. The machine sat there all weekend. You know, luckily it didn't rain and it was a good neighborhood, because the machine was still there when she got there. But like, man, like, who does that? You know, we told the shipping company to go back and pick it up and redeliver it. They said they would, and they never went back. So the quality, even if you're so like, shipping is really expensive. So like, sometimes a pallet generally is going to be over $500 for us to ship a pallet, and we're always closer to $1,000, you know, and way more than that depending on where you're located in the country. So it's not like we're not paying big bucks to ship this stuff, but the quality just seems to always go down. Now, I don't know why I'm really talking about this. I'm really just, you know, putting this out there just in case you watch this video and you have, you know, if you're one of our customers, or if you're an equipment dealer, you know, just look out, because these shipping companies, man, they're after everything. A few tips that I could give right now is that before you ship it, you take pictures of the unit on the pallet. You take pictures of the unit going into the truck, believe it or not, and make sure that your customer, or the customer, my customer, does not receive the unit and, you know, takes ownership of it and just sends it away. Because once the customer takes ownership of it, it's even worse. Because if the customer takes ownership of it and it's wrecked, the customer is basically stating that they inspected it and that the unit is fine and nothing needs to be done and nothing wrong with it. Now, you could only imagine how that could really create some real problems for me. So I've had it where customers call me and they're like, hey, my unit's broken. And I'm like, well, how when you received it, how was the packaging? Did you receive it broken? They're like, oh yeah, it was broken, but I received it anyway. And then that creates a massive problem. So, you know, just be aware. So if you're a customer out there, just make sure you double check your pallet. We label them, we wrap them really well. So if you see the wrapping's all messed up, or something just doesn't look right, like the pallet looks messed up or broken, then you know, like, something's up. And, you know, you could always call us and kind of tell us like, hey, like, this is what's going on. And based on some photos, we know like the extent of the damage, whether it's worthwhile keeping or not keeping. But if the machine looks bad, then definitely don't receive it, because it just makes the situation worse, you know. And if you're out there and you're in my situation where you're just selling equipment, you're a small business and you're just trying to make it happen here, I would say to make sure that these brokers are held liable for everything, because not just the brokers, the carriers really are the ones. Because the brokers, listen, the brokers are what they are. They're just, you know, they're a brokerage. They're just trying to make a couple of bucks between you and the transportation company. That's really what it comes down to. They're a middleman. It's the transportation companies that are out here screwing people left and right. And I think it's because they're so big that they don't care. Like, I don't think we're customers to them. I think we're just a number. You know, like, recently there's been a lot of rescaling fees, which is something that's popped up, which drives me absolutely crazy, because I had $150 variance on a pallet for 1 inch, not because of weight or anything else. It was a 71 by 30 by 60 inch pallet, and they got 72, 30, and the same height, same weight, and they charged me $180. So what does that tell you? Like, if you're looking at a pallet and it kind of looks like it, that means they're literally getting down to their knees and they're like checking everything that's coming through, so that they could just purposely charge you with these like reweight fees and rescaling fees. And I think it's wrong. You know, if I gotta be honest, I think it's absolute, like, these guys are crooks. And it's not just one carrier either. T-Force is one of them. I'll call them out by name. XPO is another one. Estes, R&L carriers, you know, Do A Pile, they all do it. You know, Central, like, you know, if you go down on the totem pole, like maybe the you know, not the very good carriers won't rescale you because they're always the most expensive and the worst. But like the supposed good carriers, they're out there just trying to get your money, you know, and they're looking for excuses because let's be honest, you know, they cube out a truck, and on that truck, what the hell is the difference in an inch gonna make in the truck as far as transportation goes? It makes no difference. But to them, the real difference is that, they didn't give us the right size. So that 1 inch, I could charge them whatever the hell I want. And they already got possession of your pallet. You know, they already got possession of your equipment. What are they gonna send it back? It's just not gonna happen. So, you know, that's, they usually do it after the fact. So they're really sneaky about it. So just make sure you get your dimensions like dead on and document everything. You know, and I'm speaking to the business owners here. You know, I'm speaking to anybody who's in my position or anybody who's working, you know, in shipping and receiving right now that, you know, that might run into this type of situation. So now that's that. I haven't talked about anything in a while here at CSM, and I just kind of wanted to talk about this for a second. And yeah, so if you're looking for any kind of advice on your gym or your, you know, if you're trying to get in shape and you're looking to, you know, either A, put a new facility up, B, start a home gym, you know, feel free to reach out to me. We are, you know, I'll leave our free gym assessment link below on our website here. I mean, on YouTube here on the description. And yeah. I will catch you on the other side. I am actually pretty excited. We're going to be going to HFA this year again, so I'll get a lot of good information coming out from whatever's new and popping in the fitness industry, and I'll try to, you know, keep these up and try to update. We've been pretty busy, so, you know, things have been kind of hectic, so I haven't been able to get in here. And usually my son helps me with this stuff, and he's MIA today. So anyway, I will catch you on the next one. And like I said, free gym assessment below. Take a look at it. We'd love to help. All right. Peace out.